Alright, so I'm going to show you how to cite a peer-reviewed journal article that you find in one of our college's online library databases, and we're going to use MLA 8th edition to format this thing. So, I always begin by just doing a Google search for Owl at Purdue, MLA, and I hit the first link. Now, the Owl at Purdue is a really valuable open resource that keeps us up to date on all of the changes in MLA formatting, and the trick to using this website is just making sure that you select the right template. As I said, we're dealing with a peer-reviewed journal article that we find in a college's online library database. So let's make sure and select the right template. We're going to go to MLA Style, we've got the Formatting and Style Guide, and we're going to build a Works Cited entry. As we scroll down, we'll start to see different types of Works Cited pages for a basic book, a page in a periodical, a page for an electronic source, and other common sources. And since we're dealing with a journal article that we found in an online library database, that's an electronic source. As we scroll down, there are different headings, and it's just a matter of picking the right one. Eventually, we're going to come to something that looks right. Article in an online scholarly journal. That's close, but that's not perfect. Ours also appears in print, and you can see that by clicking on the PDF and you get the page numbers. So this is a print article, but that's still not close enough. We come down a little further and we get an article from an online database. This is what we want. So I grab the template that the OWL gives us and I paste it into a document. You can see here it is. And I can use this to transfer the information from the article I read into the template that I got from the OWL at Purdue. So here's my article. Now, it begins with the author's last name, comma, first name, and you can see I put those right down here. Here's my article. Next, article titles go in quotation marks. So we can replace the title that the OWL gives us with the title of our article. Then in italics, we want to put the journal title. Now my PDF doesn't tell me the journal title, so I have to look in Academic One file. Here it is, the Mississippi Quarterly, and it's italicized for us, so I can stick that in now, and I'll make sure that it's italicized because I'm using my template. Then we get a bunch of abbreviations and numbers and letters and things. Let's take a look at these real quick. Notice we've got all of this stuff here. Really, that's just telling us the volume, the issue, and the year that the article was published. And we can get all of this from our database. Notice right here, 59.2, volume 1-2, years 2005. So let's just use all that information to fill everything in. So we just take our template, and all of the information is readily available to us. The next part throws some people off. What pages does our article fall on? If you look at Academic One file, it tells us it starts on 177, but it doesn't tell us when it ends. So open it up as a PDF. Scroll to the very end, and you'll see this article ends on page 186. So we can include those complete page ranges in here, no problem. Next, you put the database that you used in italics, and the database title is at the top. Remember, EBSCO is not a database, so if you're in a database and it says EBSCO at the top, look a little more closely and make sure and get the actual database name. In this case, it's not Gale, it's Academic One file, so we'll include that in italics. The next part I consider optional. Some teachers want you to include a DOI. It's just a link so that they can track down your source. I think it makes your citations look messy. If you include it, cool, no problem. I'm fine with that. If your teacher wants you to include it, make sure to include it. If you don't include it for me, as long as you have all the other stuff, I'm fine with that. But let me show you where to find the DOI. Viewing your article as an HTML file, just scroll down to the very bottom. Here you'll get a Works Cited entry. Now, you ought to pause the video and compare what you see here to the one I'm building. There are some subtle differences. Don't just copy and paste this thing to the end of your paper. Your teacher will know it and it'll be incorrect. But it will give you a permalink here, and you can grab this thing and stick it in. Next. You got to let us know when you actually read the article because online content changes, and you might have read an earlier version than the one that's currently posted. So just make sure and give us the access date. There you have it. You've got a complete MLA Works Cited entry for a journal article that you found in an academic database from a college's online library. Now, The indenting sometimes gives people a hard time. I'm using Google Docs. The process for Google Docs and Microsoft Word are about the same. You go to Format, and you have an option for aligning and indenting, and you would just select hanging indent, and that's how you would get this neat little indenting here. So don't let that intimidate you at all. All right, there you have it. I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, shoot me an email, and I'll be glad to help.